What if there was a device in the vehicle that just soon as you pulled up to the pump, it transmitted the data since the last time that vehicle gassed up, just the number of miles driven. For privacy folks, it's not like where they drove or, where they were at, but it's just the miles driven. And it gets reflected on the price that you pay in the pump. So instead of, you're not paying the gas tax if you have that device, you're paying just for the miles you drove. So it takes care of any of this credit rebate stuff where they are doing it in Oregon. You just, you've got that device, there's your charge for the miles you drove.
Today is December the 8th, 2017. We are in Riverside at the county building. We are here today because the California Transportation Commission Technical Advisory Committee is meeting here today. They only meet a couple of times a year and they usually meet all over the state, so I have never had an opportunity to actually go to one of these meetings. In this meeting today, they are going to be discussing taxing us by the mile. They want to tax you and track you for every mile that you drive, because the intent is to make it so expensive to drive a car that you are unable to.
Good morning, members of the commission. We certainly all agree that the state of California roads is terrible. They are among the worst in the country. Yet, prior to the latest tax increases, California County and the cabin trade currently in effect had the highest gas taxes in the country. Why is that? Why is it in California that it costs 4.7 times more per mile of road built than anywhere else in the country? In a budget of $160 billion. Why can't you, the state government, find money to take care of our priority, good roads, or good schools, having enough water? But there isn't enough money for those type of things. But your answer is, the state's answer is, the government's answer is always to come back and extract more money from the people. Why is that? Government is never expected to be more efficient and effective. Never, ever, ever. I watched some of the video of your May meeting, and they're saying, well, you make sure we're not going to tell anyone that this is about controlling when and where people drive. It's just to raise money. Well, we know how government operates. No matter what we are promised up front, inevitably, this program will be used to track where and when we drive. Inevitably, this program will be used for variable pricing to control when and where we drive. And inevitably, this program will be a tax increase, not a tax replacement. That is how government works. And none of you can honestly deny any of those points I just made. Now, there's a member on your list here, I don't see him here today, in charge of social equity. The average commute in Southern California is 30 minutes. Within that time, driving by car, you can reach 60 times more jobs than you can by government slower transportation. So we want people to work. We think we would want people to work. But now with this policy, and what Gary just mentioned about trying to get people out of their cars, the lower and middle income people, you're making it harder for them to work. You're punishing them for trying to go out and get a job because housing prices mean you got to live a long way away from where you work. So not only is this bad policy, it invades our privacy, it is unfair to the people that you think you're trying to be fair to by trying to price them out of their cars. This is a terrible idea, and I urge you to do what is right and reject this program and tell the legislature you need to come up with another idea. I'm spending our money wisely. Thank you.
Thank you. I heard think big. I'd like to take you back to California pre-1990, when we were #1 economically, quality of life, education, and more importantly, transportation. Now we are down in the 40s or 50s or probably even working lower for that. And it's precisely from the government agencies and boards like this. As I heard from the lady say, oh, well, we're going to take all these fees and shove them in there, and then we're going to put them all into one piece so it's a smooth transition. No. SB 1, cap and tax and track and tax is designed to raise the taxes up. We got a dollar a gallon now charge more on gas or whatever the prices are. You're going to systematically screw the people into the ground. You're going to charge them more, as we have done for 3 decades, for less services. You're going to clog their roads, make their quality of life less every day. And I hope you're really proud of what you're doing on this board and what our government is doing. Because it's not about what you want, it's what is best for everybody. And this is the United States, the freest country that has ever been in the history of the earth. And it was built on free market principles, and you getting to choose what you want to do and not have government intrude on your quality of life. And especially not have government trample on you. And that's what's happened too far, and you can see the results. Since the mid-1990s, we have had net migration out of California to the 49 states. In 150 years prior, that never happened. You have to look at what you're doing, because I said at the World Logistics Center hearings, when that project came up, I said the biggest part of pollution is idling cars and trucks. And the South Coast Air Quality Management came up to me afterwards and said, you're exactly right. You're not attacking what the problem is, you're making the problem worse. And that's why California is declining against the rest of the nation. That's why residents of California are leaving. They're not leaving because the weather's bad. They're not leaving because we don't have beautiful terrain. They're leaving because of government policies. Every day, businesses are leaving. You're taking away the incentive that makes things great, and that's the free market. And if we are to have the pursuit of happiness, that's where we have to go. And we have to have government representatives and boards that are working for the people and not against them.